Hello, and good evening or good morning, wherever you be. My name is James Mozingo, and I am starting a new podcast about some things I found in my DNA. And this show will be primarily about DNA, but other topics as well. I have many hobbies, and I'm looking forward to discussing those with you and also hearing your thoughts about these things as well, uh, because there's a lot of debate in terms of DNA, uh, where the origins of the so-called Israelites, Judeans, you might call them, and where they came from, where they migrated to, and where they are now. And according to my DNA, I have some interesting information. It's not going to match everyone. Everyone is certainly not going to be or have Middle Eastern ancestry as I do, but um, we will dig into it further. And we're looking at Africa. My haplogroup EP1 is said, well, ChatGPT, and other scientific literature to originate in East Africa. That is Ethiopia, Sudan, Egypt, Somalia was mentioned, but basically it originated there, broke off from EM2, the larger group that migrated to the west coast of Africa. We stayed a little while, and that is why you'll find that I also have a share, rather the same paternal ancestry with Ramesses the Third. So this is an FTDNA test, a Y-DNA test that tracks specifically your Y-DNA, that is what your father handed down to you. And this DNA does not show miscegenation or mixing. It's just a straight line, straight shot all the way back to your ancestors without much mutation showing up. So it's easier to track. So basically, what we have here is a Y-DNA test by Family Tree DNA that shows that I have a shared paternal lineage with Ramses III. Now I know there's a lot of other DNA sites out there, like 23andMe and some of the other autosomal sites that they're showing information connecting some people to ancient Egypt and the pharaohs, but this is not paternal DNA. This is maternal DNA or autosomal DNA, which does not show direct heritage necessarily. So we'll be discussing some of those things as well, along with other people I'm connected to, like you'll see shortly, Albert Einstein. So we have Albert, a preeminent physicist and iconic genius of the 20th century, was born in Ulm, Germany on March 4th, 1879. He was of Ashkenazi Jewish ancestry, with his family hailing from Germany and Eastern Europe. Einstein's parents, Hermann Einstein and Pauline Koch, instilled in him a sense of curiosity and reverence for knowledge. Okay, so I am not saying that there are no Ashkenazis who actually have ancestry to the Middle East, because there are, and as we can clearly see, Einstein, who is haplogroup E, he is under the subclade E1B1B1A, which is also called, under other naming conventions, EV38. And EV38 is within EM2 also, which my paternal haplogroup is also within EM2. Specific markers on them, in particular, probably Middle Eastern markers on them that differentiate us from the others within EM2. We know the reason. I am also connected to Albert Einstein through a paternal lineage, is because he is an actual descendant, an actual Semite, Shemitic lineage. My matches maps. And this map in particular shows my matches, some of them in the Middle East, and how there are a lack of them in Africa. Essentially, I have one or two, and some one-step matches. But all of my exact matches come from either the Middle East here or the Mozingo lineage, that is in Semitic peoples and Egyptian peoples existed together, they coexisted, interbred, but there were differences between them. Here is a map that illustrates the locations of the Shemites and the Hamites. Most of my matches are in the green areas. UAE, Bahrain, Kuwait, entire Arabian Peninsula in general. These are the facts, basically. I have only 44 paternal matches, 5 of them exact. Those 5 exact matches all reside in Kuwait, Bahrain, UAE, Qatar, and then the only other exact match is the Mozingo line of America. I have 15 or so Saudi Arabian one-step matches with a common ancestor, probably in the Middle East at around 1100 Common Era, AD that is. I have no exact matches in Africa, only 2 one-step matches around 1100 CE, who were probably migrants from the Middle East going into Africa. The earliest common ancestor for all 5 exact matches lived around 1600 Common Era. For all my exact matches. That includes for Edward Mozingo. So if Edward was from Africa, we would have matches in Congo, Angola, and not Arabia. If Edward was from Angola, I mean, his mother, I'm not saying it's not from Angola because she is said to be Queen Nzinga. We'll get into that in a moment. It would have been his mother, yes, mtDNA, although his father would have origins in the so-called Middle East among the sons of Abraham, according to my genetic profile and Middle Eastern genetic markers and my EP1 haplogroup. It is said that a man named Mozingo was born in 1580 and came from Portugal or Spain. Mostly Spain is what I hear. And he went to Angola. And we don't know for certain his name, but we know with 95% confidence intervals. Statistically, analytically, we know that Edward's forefathers lived in the Middle East. Edward II was born with the name Mozingo. So he may have been born there in Angola. After Mozingo met Queen Nzinga, she was a young, zealot Christian, freshly baptized, probably very much into the narrative of the Bible, and she probably knew who she was, engaging with. So Edward II was born with the name Mozingo, which we believe comes from Nzinga. Mon means son, so son of Nzinga. This is a Semitic kingdom on the west coast of Africa that goes back to 1380 AD. And there's some scriptures that support this. We'll be talking about that too. Let's see here. So it is not out of the range of possibility that Queen Nzinga gave birth to who we call Duarte, Edward I, in her late teens, since the range for his birth is given as 1600 to 1608. And Anna de Sousa, or Queen Nzinga, was born in 1582. So I've been in contact with some of my Middle Eastern matches. I have pictures of all of them, and they look very Middle Eastern. One man in Kuwait who was studying in England sent me pictures of 4 generations of his family. They don't really look so this is Aziz, who's studying in England. He's from Kuwait. This is his father and his grandfather. And it looks like, I don't know, maybe he has a son. That's why I said 4 generations, but that could be him. Fair enough. There's some others as well who I'll show you pictures of here shortly. This is how it's done through Family Tree DNA. As you can see here, this is my page. I'm signed in. I go to my matches for YDNA.